Thanks for being here. Let's begin. Take a few deep breaths simply to connect to our breath and that feeling, that sense, that actual aliveness that rides on every single breath. And however that is, you experience that prana, that chi, that life spark. And let's find out if we can kind of highlight that spark of life with some Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati, short, sharp exhalations. So when you're ready, I'll presume your knowledge of them will begin. That's probably good. We'll resume our Ujjayi breath. And let's change the cross of our legs right over left knee pile. Any adaptation will do. I'm just starting legs crossed, right over left. The left arm up for unlocking the shoulder, or even if you don't feel the space of the shoulder joint unlocking, it's also getting into the shoulder blade muscles of wrapping. So here we go. Inhaling, feeling the ribs, rather the breath expanding out into the shoulder blade and the armpit. Exhaling, draw the shoulder down. And then, while keeping the ribs where they are, reach the arm bone forward. I actually find that I subtly send my ribs back in order to provide counterpoint to this arm move. Deep inhalation. And then exhaling, draw the shoulder away from the jaw. And as the arm reaches forward, you might feel the muscles around the shoulder blade and the armpit. You might feel the shoulder joint itself unjamming. And we'll release. So we're just going to do that one part of it. Now, we're going to straighten out our right leg. So we can move into side bend over the right leg. That same wrapping, that same action of the shoulder blade moving around the ribs, and the ribs playing as a counterpoint, kind of rolling back under the shoulder blade. Here we are in side bend. So you might even try, rather than reaching the left arm, the left limb more and more, how would that play for you to move the ribs underneath the arm, to feel the chest turning, the abdomen, the chest turning as if facing the sky underneath the shoulder blade and the limb. Sometimes just taking that perspective of another area of the body can net us just a wholly new experience. And forward fold. So we'll set that left hand down. Now you can bring that right arm anywhere it's more comfortable, like the outside of the right leg. And we'll press up. And we'll start on knee pile the other side. Left over right. And here's that shoulder and that rib cage move. With the right elbow up, inhale. So we're just starting to feel and discriminate. There's the ribs, there's the shoulder blade. Exhaling, draw the shoulder down. And reaching the arm forward, which again, for the arm to move distinctly from the ribs, almost subtly sending my ribs back. You may feel them undifferentiated. You might start to feel that one moves a little bit more than the other. And then we'll release. We'll straighten out the left leg for side bend. So now when we reach the right arm overhead, instead of turning or adjusting the limb, what if we were to turn and now move the ribs underneath the shoulder blade, underneath the limb? And forward fold. And bring that right hand down. If I fold my sternum over shin, I'm still getting quite a bit of side bend. But again, with every breath, just inquiring, how is it? When is it that I'm experiencing that spark of life? And I recommend following the breath, tracking with the breath, and keep almost logging that, registering that feeling sense. And then we'll walk our way up. And we'll lie on our back. Do some abdominals. When we lie on our back, let you select foot position, ground, wall, or free floating with the knees over the hips. Inhale, head, shoulders, lifting them off the ground, elbows reaching up. So I'm still unlocking the shoulders. Curl tailbone. Exhale. Let's reach out through left leg as the elbows unlock toward the right thigh. We'll draw low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee. Curl tailbone. Exhale, right leg reaches out. Elbows unlock toward the left thigh. Draw low belly down. All right, inhale back to center. Since you all know these so well, let's do 4 more on each side on our own. Yeah? So let's continue at our own pace. Just feeling that the joints are opening, the hip joint, the shoulder joints. Again, one of the ways that can help us register that feeling of life in our body is when we attune to space. Either the space that's supporting our body structure or the space that we discover in between our bones, our physical, actual spaces in the body. When I'm attuning to space, I often find that there's a different feeling tone and feeling quality of the body. And I'm attuned to space, which is different than attuning to structure, parts of my body. And of course, try it out. You may get some benefit from attuning various ways. All right. Looks like we're good on that count. We just set up for a bridge. I'm going to have a block nearby because we'll be going through a rather brief set of half Parivrtta. So when you have your feet set up about hip width, exhale, will come up into bridge. So first, the left foot will remain stable and the right hand will reach for the right ankle, half Virasana. I'm engaging through both of my inner feet. Feeling into the inner feet. And we'll release. We'll switch sides. Left hand grabs left foot, drawing it back. And let's release that left foot. We'll lift off of any block. And we'll lower down. Let's set up a dolphin. I really like that for my shoulder blades. And at your readiness, here we go, dolphin. Letting that underside of the skull remain quite relaxed. Right. Now inhale, elevate right foot. Spreading the foot bones. Reach out. And we'll set the right foot down, switching sides. Again, here, what happens when we attune to the space in the left hip, that emerging or that unveiled space in the shoulder joints. We'll set the left leg down. We'll set the knees down. And we'll move to standing. We'll be working standing splits, which is the one where we grab the foot with two hands. If you need any wall support, please help yourself. We'll start with the right foot. So when I grab the right foot with both hands, pressing that right foot really in the same direction as my left foot points. And bending right knee will release. Here we go, other side. Both hands grabbing left foot. And here too, when I tune to space, say in the right hip, the standing hip, does that alter how our sense of balance? To me, it does. There's a radical difference between managing the foot structure out in front of me and attuning to the space in my standing hip, my shoulders, my neck, Good. Let's gently set that down. We'll take a spot at the top of our mat. Inhale, reaching up. And even a little bit back if that's comfortable. Exhale, fold. Relaxing through the eyes. Inhale, step both feet back. And we'll lower all the way down. Now, having lowered, do just a short little shoulder series here. So bring hands beside shoulders, the elbows bent, and straighten and reach back through the legs. Inhale, the hands and the elbows lift up, the chest lifts up a little bit. Exhaling, keep reaching back through the legs as we squeeze the tops of the shoulders. Then letting up, squeeze the middle parts of the shoulder blades. Let up, keep reaching those legs back, squeeze the bottom tips of the blades. Do one more, inhale. And exhale, squeeze tops, reaching back through the legs. Middle parts of blades, keep sending back those legs, hips opening, and the bottom tips of the blades. All right, release. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhaling, downward dog. We're going to set our knees down. Now I'm going to make a couple presumptions with this next move. One, that your toes are curled under. You may have to make some modifications if you're not, you're unable to turn your, beyond your toe pads. And then two, grab your block. I'll turn and I'll face you. And I'm placing that block right between the legs. I'm also adjusting my feet so that I can actually grab this block with my thighs. Okay. So for me, I just adjusted my feet a little bit apart from one another. Not a lot. Okay. So stage one of it is just hugging. And you might just be working on bringing your butt back closer to your heels. Now, if you're quite comfortable being on your toe pads and sitting, bringing your butt, your weight over your feet, we're going to take one more move. I'm going to just reach with my fingertips for the ground behind. Now, as I subtly go back, there's a good chance my legs want to let go of the block. This is the whole point. So the block is here to encourage inner thigh all the way to the arch. So first go the fingertips. As I get a little fingertip on the ground, and keep squeezing that block. As you reach the thigh bones away from the nose, you can feel that subtle opening up through the front of the pelvis. I'm just going to settle my butt back into my heels. Come upright, relax the block. And now we'll press back into downward dog. So I go hands under shoulders. Downward dog. lunge. Inhale, step right foot forward. The left knee and the left heel remain off the ground. So everything I just started to prime with that block between the thighs. Really a lot of that same structure here. Okay. When I feel that inner leg kind of all connected right to the arch, I can start to lift the abdomen away from the lap. And now again, lifting 3 limbs at the very least, getting really spacious. These shoulder joints, and so these elbow joints, and this left leg reaching back. Inhale, bring the hands down to the ground. Exhaling, chaturanga, right foot step back, and we'll lower. Cobra. Stretch the legs back. So the legs aren't limp weight behind our butt. We're sending those legs back. So part of experiencing energy is helping the body remember the room that it has to conduct energy. And often when we're feeling space in the body, exhaling downward dog, certain structures are opening, dilating, decongesting, uncoagulating, and energy starts to move. So there's a lot of energetic practices that correspond really well with our attuning to space. So here we are in downward dog, an old favorite. And we could do it here too. It's just, I change the way I'm perceiving my body. I just start to feel the space of the trunk and the core. And then I might send the sit bones back. I feel the sit bones being drawn back. Might feel more gliding in the ankle joints, or more floaty in the wrist joints. I think joints are a great place to go to feel space. All right, here's lunge. Inhale, left foot forward. The right knee and the right heel are up. Refining that inner thigh. We can play with bringing the body upright. Okay. So the shoulder joints can feel spacious. We have we'll say the recipe, we have some technique that can help us remember that in the shoulders. Right. Reaching back through that right leg. So feeling that distinction between the thigh and the pelvis. There you go. There you go. Letting that abdomen, the whole front line of the body start to just barely stretching open. You'll feel that difference between I'm here, I'm opening. Space is drawing my body out. Space is drawing my body into it. All right, inhale, bring the hands down. Exhaling, chaturanga, we'll step left foot back. Inhaling upward dog. Please continue cobra if you need to. Exhaling downward dog. Inhaling, step right foot forward, warrior two. And as you're reaching out through the arms, feel how the shoulder reveals space. And the hip crease. There we go. There we go. So we're going to palm the floor. I'm going to start with an easier version of interlock first. Okay. Inhaling and bringing the right palm down. Block is nice. Okay. So I'm palming floor, setting the left hand behind the back. Just so I can start with the ribs here. So I palm the floor, inhaling, the ribs can lengthen forward. Exhaling, the ribs can turn. You can take the interlock whenever you love. Release. Inhale, place hands down for lounge lunge. So I go left knee down, left hand down, and the right arm hugs the right thigh. We worked with some principles yesterday of the inner leg, how when we enact the inner leg in a move like this, that may register much more deeply up in the rib cage, in those upper ribs. If you're feeling creative and you have a sense of what I'm alluding to, you could play around with that inner leg engagement here. That one I won't go into any detail today. And then inhaling, unwind. Hands to ground, exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Warrior two, inhale, left foot forward. That spark, where is that spark? How do I recognize it in my body? We're just doing that again and again. It's a repetition practice. It's a remembering practice. So when I follow my breath, when I attune to space, often that can just start to get me going on remembering. So instead of holding my arms out, what if I start to feel into more space? What if I feel the space drawing my limbs outward? Okay, I'm going to start by palming the ground for a pre-interlock. Inhale, bring the left palm down, the right hand behind the back. I'm palming the ground so my shoulder stable. I can just start to feel the ribs turning around, rotating, spiraling. And when I know I'm not feeling like I'm compressing or muting any of this diaphragm movement, I can always create that interlock. Lounge lunge, inhale, we'll unwind. Right hand down, right knee down. Exhaling, left arm hug, left leg. And inhaling, unwind. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. All right. Gently set the knees down. So we're going to do some straight leg moves. One of the hopes is, if we're riding any kind of remembrance or momentum from yesterday, we're still feeling the straight legginess. But if you're feeling kind of chill still in the tissues, I want you to have options so you don't have to feel so stretchy. So we're going to do vertical splits on the wall. I'm going to use blocks because I like blocks. I find, this is my personal, if I don't feel so warm, if my tissues are still kind of cool and they're not really warming up, I actually like doing it without the wall. I like having all of that weight on my leg to work with. I feel the muscular work is better for warming than the stretchy work. So I'm going to let you decide. I'm setting up with my right foot down, my left leg up. Again, if I wasn't feeling warm or smooth, I would do this without the wall. But I feel like I can afford a little bit of a stretchy sensation. So I'm going to just apply, let the wall hold my foot a little bit higher up. Okay. Another thing I like to do is I like to work with the wall, so I don't just kind of plop my leg back there. I actually really just prefer to use it as a low water line. So something below which my foot cannot go. And if I end up resting it, that's fine. But here we are, vertical splits. Our right foot is down, our left leg is in the air somehow. Nothing has to be overly stretchy. Yeah, and just by getting up on blocks, there's less stretch there also, so I can do more work per stretch. Again, the work is warming. So how you keep reminding yourself bodily that registration of, oh, this is life full. And just these lots of remembrances. Reaching through the arm limbs, opening up the shoulders, reaching through that left leg limb. And now inhaling, we'll set that left foot down. Pyramid. So I've set that left foot down about 3 feet behind. And with this pyramid, my chest, I'm going to take the traditional pyramid here, my chest moving over my shin. Now, bending knees, we'll set the left knee down. And I just want to show you this, not really a Vishva. Let me just sit down and show it to you. I'm going to take a seat with my right leg extended. And I want to show you a couple different ways, because you might like seated, you might like working with the arches of your foot a bit more. Okay. So one is, if I seat myself, this left arm is reaching overhead for the right foot. Let me show you that from one other place. If I had just lowered and not really sat down, I'd be working this kind of half Pashasana, this half squat. And I can do quite similar. The balance is quite a bit different. Why would I suggest doing this at all? The sole of the foot contains a lot of information that guides the groin, that guides, I just think it's really useful and fun to get into that inner edge of the foot. So some form of side bend. Our right leg is straightened. And you can decide to have the butt suspended off the ground. Or you can sit that butt down and have a nice stable experience. So this is really just out of a discovery of just how much the inner leg and the internal rotation of the hip need and rely on the inner foot. So it's just a little complementary move. There you go. And then we'll release to do the other side. Okay. So I'm going to just bend my right leg in, hands under shoulders, downward dog. Vertical splits. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Up to you if you use a wall. Or you're freestyling it without a wall. pyramid. Inhale, stepping the right foot down. So continue the folding. So that inner foot can help bring on that inner leg here in your pyramid. That left inner half of foot, that left inner thigh. So I can activate the muscles, kind of tweezing them in to create buoyancy in the joints. I don't have to necessarily kind of lay into the muscles or lay into the stretch. Right. Now from pyramid, stepping or squatting back rather into a form of a side bend. So for me, I'm just kind of pivoting and sitting my butt back toward my right heel. Okay. And this leaves me suspended. This also leaves me to work with a lot of foot stuff. Now, your knee may not love this, so seated is another option. And that way you can adjust your knee however you like. And when we release, downward dog. All right. So when we have a seat, again, one more time. This time, okay, I've got my left leg bent like so, and my right leg is straightened out. I'm separating my legs widely. Now, this one also is possible to do suspended with my butt barely on the ground. I'll show you seated. It's a little take. Let me just show. Okay. So I'm letting my right arm go down and my left arm go overhead. I'm grabbing my right foot. Now my right hand is free to grab my ankle or my shin. So I'm actually using both of my arms to keep me up and to kind of spiral into this side bend. Okay, we'll just talk through it all again. So my right leg is out, my left knee is bent. The balance may prove a little bit funky. So if you find you have to set the leg forward in order to sit better, you know. I'm bringing my entire trunk to the inside atop my right thigh. Left hand reaches over for side bend. In fact, I'm going to get that outer edge of the foot. And my right hand can grab my ankle or my shin. There you go. Exactly. Yeah. It's got a little bit of that egg beater feel. It's like one of those, I'm being rotated. Something's rotating me. There you go. Straps are good use here. So let's say my right hand can't grab my ankle. I could always throw a loop over that leg. All right, release. Inhale, come upright. We'll switch sides. All right. So here I'm seated, my left leg extended. This is my right knee bent. And I find I really have to scooch my hips forward and deep into this. My left arm, my right arm reaches overhead. Let that left hand help pull you forward so you keep from rolling back. And when you release, we'll lie back for Shavasana. So please, let's take rest. And I'll just kind of go through just slightly different wordings, slightly different attunements, just so you can explore this relationship to space in your body. So we'll keep that connection to breath. Even though we relax the technique. And one is to feel with your breath space in your body. Sometimes we feel space as a byproduct of feeling less weight. Feeling some current or some movement. And as you relax the skin boundary, you start to feel more porous. Feel that there's space all around your body and within your body. And then note how it feels to you, what your experience is, when you feel that your bodily experience is mostly that of space. Right. So when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.